Mike Gill, State of Corruption. We're going to talk about drugs. We're going to talk about why New Hampshire has the worst drug problem per capita in the United States. Because there's only one reasonable explanation. Your politicians, law enforcement, your courts, they're in on it. Wow, hard to believe? Well, let's see if I can convince you with logic. You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth and see if you fall for it. All right? All right. It starts, do you know 80%, statistically, they might vary a little bit, but they're suggesting, and what I have found, that it's a lot of your hospitals that have created the drug dealers. I mean, for everything we get, it's a painkiller, OxyContin, something that it's always addictive. We can't kill pain with medication that isn't addictive. Right. Back to the report, and the report was done on 60 Minutes. It was called Heroin in the Heartland. And to their shock and amazement, the stories kept coming back. It was young people, older people going to hospital for pain who become addicted by the medication. Right. Listen, the money's not in the cure, it's in the medicine that they keep giving you. Right. So let's take a look at the hospitals, for instance, in the state, because you just might find something. For instance, let's go to the Catholic Medical Center. All right? And let's visit Alex Walker. Right. The son of a bitch who just tried to have me murdered, see, with his associates, you know, the drug dealing associates. That's why Brian Toomey and Kerry Lemieux can't give evidence, witness, because they'd go to jail. Now, he is the lawyer at the hospital. Right. So's his buddy, the ex-U.S. attorney at the Dartmouth Hospital, and I'll go over Aganos and the boys in the Elliot Hospital. Right? So, let's take a look at Walker. Walker moved to the Catholic Memorial after I sued him and Divine Millimat for corruption. Right. Walker is the guy who ran the Ponzi scheme, protected the corruption of it and the prosecution of it, with his buddy Kakavis, who's now at the other hospital, Dartmouth. Now, the first thing that Walker did, and you'll see when he went to the hospital, he turned around and got the state hospital rule unconstitutional by Superior Court judge. Judge McHugh, remember the hit judge? Judge Anderson replaced him? Right. So the first thing Walker did was go to court and make it so that the hospitals won't be taxed for Medicaid. Right. Walker and McHugh. Right. So the first thing he did was save the hospital millions. But he took it from the state. You're going to see a quick video of Walker speaking in the Medicaid expansion here, saying it's a good deal, New Hampshire. It's not going to cost you anything. Right. Just a few souls, you know, of your children. And do you really believe this isn't going to cost you anything? At the end of the day, it's going to cost you state tax. You watch and see.
And it's a good deal for New Hampshire. $400 million in federal funds coming to New Hampshire with a small gap in that cost that will be covered by the hospitals and by the insurance companies is a good deal for New Hampshire.
Now, so Walker's pitching this, wins. Who owns the facilities? Who owns New Hope? Who owns the Elliot Hospital? Right? And if it's a situation with the heroin, then it means we're not catching the dealers. You know why we're not catching the dealers in a small state like this? Because they're protected by the AG's office. And they know how. You
Mr. Walker here. I sued Walker for insurance fraud and covered up the policy with
I would ask you to suspend, please.
This is very direct.
You're off on it. Sir, please suspend.
So, what I'm saying to you is, the people selling heroin and us and Bruce, I have multiple witnesses to the Department of Justice right now in Washington. I will post the number. I will post the case number. So the question isn't you voting on this, it's that you investigating this. And us is selling heroin. They're selling it, they own the treatment centers, you own and the Elliot Hospital. So not only are you contributing to the heroin in this state, but you're paying for the recovery of the people who don't die.
Right? So now you don't have to pay taxes. And he sits at the medical center. So for instance, if we had issues with the abuse of opioids out of the hospital, who would be defending that hospital? Oh, it would be Walker. Let's not go there. Let's look at the Dartmouth Hospital. John Kakavis. He's named Chief Legal Officer of the Dartmouth Hospital. So the president of Divine Millimat goes to work for the hospital. Really? He always worked for the hospital. He always protected them. The U.S. attorney now protects them from the Dartmouth. What are they protecting from? Drug abuse, the opioid selling it. They're the biggest drug dealers. Now, we turn, so don't forget Kakavis. Now, we also found the opiate tax force. You know, the chair of it is a woman named Sedan Savage. She works at the Dartmouth Hospital. So how are we looking for the abuser, challenging, finding the abusers with the abusers? That happens all day in this state. That's how they don't get caught. Now let's go to the Elliot Hospital. Well, we only have Dick Aganos involved and a bit of the landlord. Right. Let's not forget Mr. LaChance, Representative LaChance. You may not remember LaChance, but LaChance is the one who was at the Medicaid expansion hearing. There he is right there, praying that it goes through. Right. Because he's the guy who initiated the bill. A freshman rep who only sits on the board of the Elliot Hospital. Are you getting an idea here? Right. And the schlub was also a Bedford cop. And we can't find any more corruption outside of Manchester than Bedford. Right? We remember the meeting with the Bedford cops, the secret meeting? Well, they went right back to the drug dealers. Right? And they brought it up in court. See? See how it's all connected? And then, it's a good thing we got the Attorney General's office. Foster's working on it, right? Here's the title, Attorney General accuses drug company of blocking opioid probe. He is the cover guy. He's full of shit. He's the one covering it up. And I had a call recently from the Justice Department in Washington, told me to stay on the AG's office. You know what it just came to me? Came to me that Foster is covering it up and the Department of Justice in Washington knows it. And they're even sicking me on him. Hey, listen, I didn't need any help, and you didn't give us any help, but we'll take care of it ourselves. You know, the people of New Hampshire who are sick and tired of having its citizens die of overdoses and the criminality throughout these hospitals, right? That's what's doing it. Let's talk about the drug dealers that I'm fighting in court now. Who's representing them? Steve Gordon. Get a little clip. You know, of he's escorting the Aganos boys out. Right. We don't want them to say anything, right? And then he goes on to threaten my 5-foot camera woman. And get him. See that? That's right. See? Go ahead, get him. Don't forget to miss this face. There you go. Boy.
What's
Like
your name?
Larry David. None of your business.
It's none of
That's
your
your
business
name.
what my name is.
How's that?
All parties and councilors are.
Yeah, you think that's funny, huh? How about primary events? How about that secret grand jury? I got all that. The first request get denied, didn't it? Huh? Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna depose your boyfriend too.
That's who Steve Gordon is. Let's take a look at Bill Shaheen. I wonder how many of you know that he's a lobbyist. Right. He's getting paid by the opioid industry. Right. That's how he cashes in. That's Gene Shaheen being the senator. Right. That's before the governor. Shaheen and Gordon. You don't think that Billy Boy's doing it for free, do you? Right. He's only the lobbyist for the insurance business, too. Insurance and drugs. Bill Shaheen is one of 6 New Hampshire superdelegates to endorse Clinton. Shaheen is a prolific party fundraiser. Can you say extortion and payoffs? He only extorted me for $100,000. And the law firm is registered as a lobby, local offices in New Hampshire. Right. Shaheen's firm, on behalf of the American Council of Life Insurers and pain care centers. Wow. And he's noted as 8 of the 10 most prolific opioid prescribers in New Hampshire Medicaid program. Now, are we picturing this? Shaheen and Gordon is in court with the street dealers, right? He's defending the opiate industry and through the hospitals. All of this is connected. Now, they only passed Medicaid expansion to support these treatment centers that are owned by the drug dealers. This is how incestuous this all is. It's there for you to see. Mike Gill, State of Corruption. Let's call this bonus footage. A little insight of Alex Walker. Alex was my attorney for many years. In fact, I took him one year to the Breeders' Cup in California. I had a horse racing called Forest Music. She didn't win, and I bet most of my money on her. And it was race number 3. So we're pretty much, I had $2,000. You ever watch the movie Let It Ride? Richard Dreyfuss. Love that movie. So you know what I did? I let it ride. You know what I did? I picked 7 winners in a row. That 2,000 turned out to be 139,000. The last race, the classic, I bet it all. I even remember the horse's name now. Perfect Drift. Finished 3rd, lost by a neck. Right? Bet it all. I would have won over $500,000. We were all leaving. I had taken friends and family, and I took Walker. And we're all leaving, and Alex asked me for 1 minute. I'm thinking he's going to the restroom. So we're all waiting for him. But I notice he goes to the window to cash a ticket. I just bet $139,000. And I get behind him without him knowing it. Do you know the son of a bitch bet $10 on the winner? Right. That's Alex Walker. Mike Gill.